Let's have a little fun, though, and jump to this story. We got this from Dexerto, the new video game, Karen. And it's funny because a lot of people are like, Karen is racist. I think this is hilarious.
Sorry, we're all out of half and half.
You can only do an exchange.
No, breadsticks are extra.
I'm sorry, ma'am. That's our policy.
So, it's a Karen with the Karen haircut destroying them all.
Epic Celtic.
Did they get these ideas from Los Angeles?
Oh, it kind of looks like, what's that? The models, there's games that have this similar character models.
Why does she have superpowers?
Among Us, I think.
Well, else are you going to get the manager out there?
Is she getting bigger? Is she?
Yes.
Yeah. She probably eats like, yeah.
So,
My problem.
Karen the video game.
Well, my problem with this is when you think of, like, let's just, everyone out there just play like a mind game. Close your eyes and think of someone destroying a shopping mall. Do you really think of a middle-aged white woman? Is that like what occurs to you?
And that's the first response from Kangman Lee, a bunch of young black men looting a department store.
Yeah, literally.
Now, hold on. That's just a different video game. And Tate, I recommend you make it.
I know, but no one's ever going to make that.
I made a grok video called Shaniqua because that's the black equivalent of a Karen. I researched this. The funny thing is Wikipedia is like, Shaniqua is a racist term for a low-income, rude black woman. Or they said it's used in racist ways to describe low-income, rude black women. And then Karen, it's like some people criticize Karen as being racist. And it's like, guys, neither is racist, but they are both racial. Like, when you say Karen, you don't imagine a black woman, and when you say Shaniqua, you don't imagine a white woman. And they're both references to people you describe as rude, but they're not meant to represent literally every woman of that race. So it's a racial joke. It was always allowed. And I think Karen should include the option to choose between all sorts of different races. I would love an Asian, a Kim.
Oh yeah,
Who rampages around, smashing things up.
Gotta skin that. Skin that bitch is what I was gonna say, but I mean make skins for the character model. You can have like
this is me and Amber Duke's thesis. This is why we came under so much ire for defending Karens. But our proposal is like, okay, yeah, it is annoying, right? A Karen, when you think of the Karen phenotype, that is an annoying person. But the problem is it's like safe, edgy, where a lot of people just outsource every problem in like American public life to Karens. And if you're really being honest, how far up the ladder are, again, middle-aged white moms like an impediment to like the functionality of American social life? Like, is that really, when you think about like who's disrupting like the retail scene? Is it really middle-aged
I'm going to say it again.
white women?
Brother, awfuls. Okay?
Even then, it's
Karens fall in this camp. They are there's the meme I'd love to bring up where the man builds a fence around his house to protect his wife from wolves. And one day, while the wife is out working, the wolf whispers, "Your husband built this fence to imprison you, tear down these walls and find freedom." So she does, and the wolf eats her. The point is, Karen represents to me the uppity, pretentious, white, affluent female that has been so removed from the dangers of the real world that she just demands whatever she wants.
I would agree if that was the working definition everyone has, but people just use Karen to like describe, again, like a white woman that just expects like basic standards like when she's out in public. And like the thing is, Karen's
basic standards.
No, Karen's
like,
I don't know about arguing about something.
Yeah, they're arguing because
I think it's delusional.
No, because a lot of these retail, dude, the state of retail workers in 2026 is like horrible. Like it's legitimately like you go to like a Wendy's, they're like in their pajamas, they're blasting music, like the order is always wrong, they forget your straw all the time. I mean, that's like the basic level. So it's like, and if it's fine if I like got mad, but again, if like Amber Duke got mad, and I hate to sound like a libtard, but it's like if Amber Duke got mad, look, can you believe that Karen?
No. I like it. I like it. I like the fact that you go to a fast food restaurant and you can't, and everyone's all nasty, and the world shouldn't be candy canes and rainbows and marshmallows and pillows.
Kind of with that, I think people have become accustomed to luxury, and like, why get obsessed if you're playing 7 hours late? You're still getting to ride in an airplane, bro.
We need bears running around. Just like we gotta breed grizzlies and just let them loose in our major cities and be like, it might be you. because
agree,
danger exists.
I'm just using Wendy's as like the DMV is miserable. The TSA, have you the TSA treat
That's
you
government,
like
bro.
I know. I'm saying it's at every level. Every time you have to deal with like someone that has to perform a task for you, they're like an idiot. And this is like a fairly recent thing. Even at like top level, even like Trader Joe's. I used to respect Trader Joe's employees, and since COVID, it's just gotten horrible.
Yeah, no, I can agree.
No
with
one
that.
cares about their job anymore.
Makes them
across the board. No one cares about their job.
What makes them
anymore.
Karen is they can't control their temper.
No, it's just they expect like basic standards, and when Karens, by extension,
That's not
boomers,
true, bro.
And when they're out of the way, it's going to be a total free for all.
Karen is meant to represent an entitled woman.
I think some people should be a little bit more entitled.
Sure,
People
but
are
the
getting
point
pushed.
is,
people can't advocate for themselves.
When you
anymore.
see a video that someone's accused of being a Karen, there are certainly some that are wrong, where it's like she's falsely accused. But the general idea is like a woman comes in and she goes, "Why is there mayonnaise on my burger?" And they're like, "I'm really sorry about that. I'll remake it." "No, this is ridiculous. I want free." That's the Karen trope.
Yeah, I agree. Like those are. I'm just saying it's expanded now to like any white person that gets like upset that they're being mistreated.
That I don't like because I'll see sometimes women will get harassed in a park by a dude throwing food at her dog, and then they get her reaction.
Well, that was the story.
That's one of
the story was there was a black guy in Central Park that was trying to feed a woman's dog, and she started screaming, and she definitely overreacted, and the media they just went white woman bad, black man
Which
good.
is completely different than a girl walking into a Wendy's and being like, "You forgot my pickles."
But then to my point, also it's like when you think about again a shopping mall and you think about people freaking out in public. Is it Karen's the primary person you think of, or is it like the video Kangman Lee posted?
No,
like,
that's why I'm saying we got to make
Karen.
We got to make our own game. No, bro.
It's like having a long line at a store. A Karen is not the person that just got cut in line that's been waiting there for 15 minutes. A Karen is the one that just showed up and starts yelling why nobody's attending to her because she showed up, and you doing what you're doing is an inconvenience to her because she has this expectation that she hasn't informed you about, but she expects you to be informed. And every time a expectation is set over you that does not appease to them, you get a Karen.
Guys, I want to add this video to the mix on this story, and I hate Instagram because they always mute it and you can't play it right from the beginning. But I want to play this
shorts are like that too.
I'm going to play this video. Listen to this.
Where men and women were hooked up to brain scanners as they watched people play a game. They got to see whether the people playing the game were playing fairly or whether they were cheating at the game. And the people playing were connected to electric shock machines. So electric shocks would go into these people as they were playing, and they would measure the brains of the men and women watching. So every time a player that was playing fairly got an electric shock, both men and women's empathy centers lit up. Whenever an electric shock would go into a person that was cheating, women's empathy centers lit up just the same as with the fair playing person, but men's empathy centers did not light up at all. Actually, their pleasure center lit up. Super key psychological distinction between men and women.
Wow. And that's a very interesting take that I think plays into this very much so, in that according to this study, men are feel pleasure when evildoers are punished. Women feel empathy when evildoers are punished. Hence, it's what's that woman's name who's talked about the feminization of
Helen Andrews.
Helen Andrews, and this is basically her hypothesis played out macro level politics. When you get to the point where any significant percentage of judges and DAs are female, they are going to empathize with the evildoers. The idea that an evildoer, so a man is going to say, "You are a murderer and a rapist, I think you should be beaten. That gives me pleasure and joy." And all the guys are saying like, we derive pleasure from the suffering of this evil man. And the women go, "But it's so mean."
Well, not Democrat men. Democrat, they see it, I think, in the same way that women see it.
Indeed. So it's basically a low testosterone phenomenon, I'd imagine. Yeah. And I mean that literally.
Yeah, literally. Because it's like all this is really happening is these are natural impulses that women have always had. It's just when you implement them in a liberal democracy, that's when it becomes this. Yeah. That's where you get Karens, because policing behavior, women of police behavior, that's called being a mother. That's like a natural instinct for them to have. And policing behavior is actually very useful in a
they don't police behavior. The point is that the men are the one ones who are going to go to the child and they're going to say no, and they're going to whap them on the backside of the head, and then the mom goes, "Oh, baby, come here, I'll give you a kiss."
Yeah, but women, okay, but like the maternal instinct is a form of policing behavior. That's how women do. Often men wouldn't even be in charge of parenting. They would leave the wife at home while they're out doing their thing.
Right, and mom is the safe place where, you know.
Not my family.
I think mothers. I mean, I think
woman wore the pants in that house. My dad was.
I didn't talk about wearing pants.
Again, let's not be willfully obtuse. I am not suggesting that every single mother everywhere all the time is letting their kids run rampant. I'm saying women have a tendency towards this as per the studies, and men have a tendency in the other direction. I also think it's fair to say, if you could measure love, I think it is 100% true. Women's love for their children would shatter the charts compared to men. Men love their children, 100% think so, but I believe that the emotion that women have towards their kids is substantially stronger than the way men feel about their kids.
How so? How so?
I believe that through evolutionary biology and psychology, women are effectively one with the baby for a long period of time in a way that men are not. So men do love their kids. Don't get me wrong, and it's a strong and powerful love. Men will throw themselves onto a fire to save their kids and all that stuff. But I believe that women just have a stronger emotional drive towards their children.
The emotional drive to throw yourself in front of the train to save your kid is outweighed by her emotional connection because she was with the child.
Let's put it like this. Let's call it Fahrenheit. A man's love for his kids is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. A woman's is 120.
I've noticed females will get ill, physically sick, if they empathize with their child's feeling bad. They'll start to feel bad. There's a lot of different types of love. I think the women feel more types of love towards their children.
I'm gonna say this too. For anybody who's walked down the street with their wife and their kids, certainly something I've only experienced in this past year, babies are celebrities to women.
Oh yeah.
And I've explained this for a while about how catcalling is a phenomenon that affects both men and women of high status. The question is, what makes a woman high status? Well, unfortunately for the feminists, it is sexual attractiveness, which means a woman who is sexually attractive has high social market value. Guys are going to holler at her. For a guy, it's notoriety. Now, you could be ultra wealthy. So guess what? Guys that drive around in super fancy cars, what do you see? People go up to them and they go, "Yo, like, what's up?" And guys walk around with crazy chains. People always want to look at them. Or how about this? There's a dude who did a stunt where he went to Times Square. And he walked out of a building and had his friends paparazzi him. And so they all swim around him, start taking pictures, and he puts his hands up and he's going like this, and he's wearing a jacket, and then he has a fake bodyguard go like this. Crowds swarmed around because they just wanted to see who it was. So my point is, women, for the most part, are getting catcalled by guys because a woman will just be attractive, and that's high social value. But most guys don't experience any kind of catcalling because they don't outwardly express any kind of high social status.
I think
celebrity guys do.
The society that we're living in has almost indoctrinated men to the point of if they show any type of love, no, that's not what men do.
So to the point,
rough around the edges and all this other stuff.
So to the point I'm trying to make is walking down the street with a baby, and I'm curious what you've experienced, Phil, in this one. I think I've seen not a single guy has ever, of any age, stopped and said, "I got to see your baby." Women, every single woman, 100%.
You just did something right now, which I don't think you realize. You went, "Hey, let me see the baby," because we automatically tie men loving children or showing empathy or emotion towards kids as being gay or as being homosexual. There's a femininity to them if men
this
show
is not material to
love
the point that I'm making.
with.
Well, here, let me tell you
the
how
point
my love
is,
for child is if I see
not
a
a single
kid,
not a single guy has ever said, "Oh, what a beautiful child. Can I take a look?" Not one guy. I'm in an elevator and an old lady leans back trying to look into the baby carriage. We're sitting down at a restaurant and the women walk by and they go, "Can I take a look at your baby?" That's my point. Women love babies substantially more than men do. Men, of course, love their kids. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying I think it's evolutionary psychology and biology, and it should be patently obvious to every guy that guys like going out and fighting bears. I mean that somewhat figuratively. Women like having babies. It's fascinating the amount of social propaganda you needed to convince women not to have babies. And then it's funny because I see these videos online on Instagram all the time, and it's like like music is playing and it's the woman with her baby. There was one earlier where it was a woman who said she always wanted a nose job and now she's glad she never got it because her nose fits perfectly with her baby's forehead, and she put her head to her baby's forehead. I'm like, yeah, guys don't make videos like that.
Yeah.
Guys don't feel that way.
It's obsessive. I think it's a type of love called mania. And it's one of the 8 Greeks have them split.
Women are manic.
They're manic for their babies.
True,
They have it means obsessive love, and women do have obsessive love for their babies. Men don't. My love would be formed as agape, love of the community, where if I see your kid, I'll be like, "Hey, kid," and then I immediately look around the room to make sure we're all safe because I love that kid and I want it to survive.
I don't even notice like Tim's baby half the time. Eyes, and I'm like, oh, hi, how are you?
It's here.
And I didn't grow up around like I was always the youngest. I didn't really grow up around babies either, so I speak to them like adults. I'm like, hello, how are you? And
men and women are different. There's nothing wrong with it, right? So again, to the point that I'm making, the point that I'm making is that babies get catcalled because by women. I'm not even playing.
That's true.
And it's funny too because my wife gets concerned because she's like, I don't want strangers touching my baby.
Sarah's the exact same way.
Isn't it crazy how women walk up and go, "Can I touch your baby?" And it's like, no.
No, I don't know.
Could you imagine this? A guy walking from like, "Can I touch you? Can I touch your shoulder?" No, don't touch me.
Yeah, and if they got weird perfumes on, you don't want your baby breathing.
So how would you feel in comparison to a girl approaching your child, and if a man approached it in the same way?
I don't like either a man or a woman.
Hypothetically, if more women are coming and they're being catcalled to your kid, if that same reaction was a man doing it, how would you take that?
Okay, so again, the same because both are bad. Mm-hmm. So when a woman walks up and tries to touch, or in other words,
can I
close,
see the baby?
Yeah. No, you can't. Mm-hmm. And a guy doing the same thing, there are ways that it can happen where we don't freak out, right? Mm-hmm. We're sitting at a restaurant and, she's in a high chair and then there's an old guy and he looks over and he smiles and he waves and then we laugh and that's about it. There are instances where women will walk by and they'll look and say, "Oh, your baby is so cute," and that's fine. But a woman being like, "Can I touch or hold your baby?" It's no, we can't, sorry. And a man or woman doing it is going to be a no, what are you doing? Stop.
Okay, so I think that is where the bias comes in. I do not believe that men are incapable or incapable of sharing that type of emotion to a child.
Who said that?
Than women are, or that women somehow are able to show more emotion towards children.
But it's a fact that they do.
I disagree. I think that every time that men have tried to show that, it's been brought back to this mold that no, this is what.
So you're arguing the blank slate of baby love?
No, not the blank slate. It's a slate that I've lived.
But your argument is that men and women are equal in this endeavor, but men are socially conditioned.
I agree. I believe
no,
that.
I'm saying that is your argument because I don't agree with it. I think men, like Tate's point is that he doesn't even notice the babies are here. That is not true for women. Like women. Seek out babies.
Yeah. Women they lactate when a baby cries.
Yeah, no, this is true.
Because
guys don't know
because they lactate, that makes them more.
Yes, because
connected.
Hormones,
because they're designed.
Hormones
for babies.
are released in a woman's body if she hears a baby cry.
Right. That I'm not arguing.
Yeah, that means they're engineered to be with the child.
Breastfeed.
So a man will not have a hormonal reaction to a crying baby. A woman will.
Right.
That is an emotional action.
Right.
Women feel stronger emotions for babies. It's a scientific fact.
So if men began to feel stronger emotions, would men begin to lactate?
What?
No, we don't have the mammary glands.
So what I'm trying to say is you're setting up a woman and a man to something that they cannot do even if they wanted to show that amount of emotion. What? Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. The point is this.
What I'm trying to say is
a man and a woman in a room and a baby starts crying.
One of them can physically lactate.
Men, if you give them the right hormones, the point is, if you take a random man and a random woman and you put them in rooms and a baby in the other room they can't see starts crying, women who are mothers will begin lactating and the men will probably just get annoyed. It's true, though.
You gotta stay real calm.
Like I said, The what?
Oh, I'd stay real calm and meditate when the kids are crying. Just like, you got this. I understand. Gravity's a pain.
Go pick them up.
Yeah, empathy is what you got, but I'm not going to lactate for you, kid. Just don't care that much. I don't know. I fully believe. Do you disagree that women have like a more all-encompassing? Because the Greeks have split love into 8 different categories.
Correct.
You know, there's erotic love, which I don't think any parent feels, but like familial love, both parents can feel that. There is the obsessive love, which I mentioned earlier, mania, which women seem to have for babies that men do not. I don't know men that are manic for children. Do you? They get manic for babies their own or anything?
Manic, no.
I don't. That's where I start to think that
no.
females.
Bro, women have like baby crazy. It is a known thing that at a certain age, women experience a baby crazy that men do not. Women have deeply stronger emotions about babies than men do. This is just the literature across the board. And common sense, like you experience it.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious example, obviously, like following a divorce is different, but out of wedlock, like 98% of children end up with the mother. Because the father just doesn't really want to have them.
Gender roles and social bias are derivative of the human experience. The reason why women typically weren't in the workplace is because the structure of human society, when humans were nomadic and in small villages, the men would go out and do dangerous things, and the women would be protected because if the women die, you can't have any babies. If the men die, you only need one guy, and you can have more babies, right? And so women can do what men can do, but typically don't need to. Men can't do what women do and need to protect the women. After 1,000 years, women stay home, men go work. They go to the office, women don't. And then what happens is once you get to a point in society where you have a massive population explosion, which happens around the Industrial Revolution, the expansion of oil products and oil as energy, you have such a massive explosion of population that the stressors of population decline no longer factor in. Now you've got women who aren't feeling social pressures to get married and have kids. And this slowly starts shifting to an ever-increasing group of spinsters as a demographic, which results in the suffragettes, a large group of women, not all of them unmarried, but many of them, and then they're demanding rights to function in society without a husband. At a certain point, you concede. We got a lot of people that need to be able to live that don't have husbands. Then you end up with the 70s when all of them go in the workplace. Women in the workplace correlates like 100% with less babies. And so, long story short, the social structure is built around like why is that courts favor women getting the babies. First and foremost, it is fascinating to me how we as society don't know this. This is a failure on the generations before the millennials to inform the millennials of this. I'm sorry, I think it's true. Our schools did not adequately inform in sex ed the function of a mother for the baby. Like, for instance, mentioning that women lactate if they hear a baby cry. Not all women, but women who have babies, will, like a new mother or a woman who's breastfeeding will hear a baby cry and she starts lactating. Like, it's a response. Or the fact that the saliva of the baby changes the chemical composition of the milk produced by the mother. These are things that schools should have taught. And the reason why now I think you have such this big burst in surrogacy and claims that 2 gay men can have a baby is because people are not adequately informed as to the requirements a human baby needs. They need mother's milk. So they get their antibodies from it, and they get perfectly formulated vitamin protein shake. So formula's fake. And because people didn't, like, I got to be honest, I didn't know about the saliva thing until I had a kid. I'm almost 40. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.